Hey there, what's going on everyone, and welcome back to the Bimmer barn. Today we're going to be getting some of my cars ready for show season coming up by doing a couple of necessary chores, including packing up the new wheels that we purchased for the E39 M5 wagon, and I can't wait to show you them, as well as my plans for how we're going to get them to look top-notch before a certain date for a certain car show. So I'm gonna tell you more details about this as we go through the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Now before I show you the wheels, we need to make some room here in the garage. And that's gonna mean opening the garage here and showing you guys the immaculate Florida weather that we have outside today. Just kidding. It is a rainy Florida day here in Central Florida. A little bit chilly out. You saw I was wearing my hoodie, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna be working inside the garage mostly today anyways. Like I said, let's go ahead and get the 335i wagon started, as well as the 550i, get them both moved out of the garage, out of the way, and then I'll show you guys the wheels. And now with all this beautiful space here in the garage, we can go ahead and roll out the wheels. So here they are, my first official set of authentic BMW E39 M5 rims. These are the Style 65, if I recall correctly, and they are 100% OEM. I was actually able to source them through our friends at Michigan Motors. Shout out to them. These came off of one of their parts cars, and they're well known for parting out E39 M5s here down in Florida. So if you need anything for your build, or you want to get some work done on your E39 M5, definitely hit him up, and I'll put a link to his Instagram down in the comments below. But I'm just so happy to have my hands on these wheels because they're gonna really help us with the M5 wagon build here. Although we already do have Style 65 wheels, these are replicas, and you can tell by the valve stems and overall build quality, just kind of the appearance. And the problem with these ones was that they were previously chrome plated, and that made them impossible to powder coat without basically going through a lot of work to remove that chrome plating. So instead of putting any more money into these wheels, I put a quick layer of plasti dip just to see what they would look like, a little bit lighter color. And I'm pretty happy with this lighter shade of like silver alloy with the contrast of the car here. I think it would look really good on any dark color, and I don't have any plans of going any shade lighter than this color here on this particular car. So I think that we probably want to go with a lighter shade for the OEM wheels as well, but still something that looks like shadow chrome. And I did find some guys over in North Carolina who are gonna be doing the work for us. Now the reason that we're sending these wheels all the way up to North Carolina is because I found a particular wheel refinishing company that does a great job of doing the factory Style 65 rims in the shadow chrome finish that they come in from factory. So we're gonna try to get the most factory look as possible on these rims, and we're gonna get them all refinished at the same time so that they're all matching in the same color, something that can kind of be a problem with the shadow chrome finish because of the way that it's done. And then when these wheels are completed, instead of shipping them back down to me, I'm actually gonna drive up to North Carolina, and we're gonna retrieve these wheels in person, maybe take a look at the facility where these things are done, give you guys maybe a behind the scenes look, and ensure that these wheels get home safely, because I would hate to get them refinished, put tires on them, and then have them shipped down to me here in Florida just to come damaged or dinged up after being freshly refinished. So I'm gonna go ahead and avoid that headache and just drive up there, pick them up myself, and that'll kind of be an adventure of us going with one of the wagons and shipping all those wheels back down here. So like I said, what we need to do today is we need to package these things up. I do have some supplies, so let's go ahead and get them outside now and get to work on getting these wheels safely wrapped up and then put a couple of shipping labels on them. Now, for those of you like Goose who are wondering how to tell a real M5 rim apart from a fake one, I'll show you guys really quickly. Here you can see the valve stem and it comes out of the rim there, and there's definitely a bulge around the valve stem that's part of that alloy rim, which is obviously part of the mold for the rim. Now, if you look at my fake rims, you'll see that around the valve stem, it's actually perfectly flat. There's no extra bulge for that in the alloy of the rim, in the mold of it. So we know that this is a fake rim, and I should have spotted this when I bought my parts car, but honestly, I wasn't looking too closely, and for the deal that I got from my M5 parts car, I wasn't really too worried about the rims anyways. So let's go ahead and start using some cardboard boxes and cling wrap and start packaging up these wheels right here.
Perfect.
Well, that's one down and 3 more to go. I'll save you guys the trouble, but basically you see what I'm doing. I'm cutting down some cardboard, and it's only just 2 pieces of cardboard per side because I really don't care about these things getting shipped up. They can get scratched in transit and it won't matter because they're just gonna get refinished anyways. So a little bit of saran wrap, and then we'll put a label on that thing in a minute. But like I said, let me go ahead and do these other 3, and then we'll have to worry about getting these things over to the post office. All right, so we've got all the wheels wrapped up now and labels on each of them, and we're ready to throw them in the back of the truck. The shipping was really reasonable. It was right under $200 for all 4 of these, and I think I calculated the gas to be like $175 to drive up to North Carolina when we have to eventually pick these up. So it's gonna be really reasonable, I think, to send them up, and we just wanna make sure we get them to the right people so we get a really good finish out of them. Let's go ahead now and load them up in the truck. So now that we've dropped off those rims, it's time to get the 335i wagon into the garage, and I'm going to discuss with you our plans for the 2022 show season. So these 2 cars, the M5 wagon and the 335 wagon, are the 2 vehicles that I'm getting ready for this car show season. And specifically, we're gonna be attending BMW Invasion. I think I've already mentioned it, but I'm just super excited to get these cars out there, and I wanna make sure that they look 100% before we show them off. Obviously, both of these cars are currently not in the best condition. The E39 M5, I've kind of put on the back burner for the past few months because we've been focusing on other flip cars and restorations for the channel. And the 335i, we've been bustling at, but unfortunately, as fast as I work at this thing, there's more and more things that continue to stack up. So I'm hoping to get it in kind of a finished state for the car show and have it looking good at least, and also driving good. Maybe not all the modifications being done and service and stuff, but who knows? We really just need to get this thing looking good for the car show. So our plans are to get the 550i wheels on this car, and I also want to paint the rear spoiler because this is the worst spot of paint on the entire car. You can see that clear coat coming right off, and it's unfortunate because on the rest of the car does have great clear coat on the paint. So we need to definitely remove the spoiler and repaint it, and then the rest of the car, we'll just probably try to buff it out, honestly. There's this big scratch right here that I'm not sure if it's gonna come out, and then these little dents right here on the side of the door, which, I mean, we could probably put a little bit of touch-up paint in here to make them less noticeable, but they are literally dents. So there's nothing that's gonna make them go away easily. But otherwise, the rest of the car has really good paint and it's all one color. So we might as well give it a full polish and some ceramic coating and get it looking really nice. And then with the 550i wheels and iDrive retrofit, I'm hoping that this car kind of has like a sleeper component to it, but still shows off all the work that we've done to it. Now the M5 wagon, we just finished the Bob Sound install, so the speakers are sounding great, and the interior of the car is still just a little bit lacking. I do realize that, you know, the seats are in dire need of some conditioning, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna be testing out some leather dye so we can also do the rear seats. Because I mean, the rear seats are still gray. I do want to get them black, and the front seats are pretty faded, pretty far gone. And we're gonna try to save both of these, as well as maybe the door panels. I'm not sure yet, but mainly the seats, I want to have them both matching in fresh black dye. So we're gonna be taking care of that, as well as installing the finished wheels once we get them back from refinishing. And the last thing that I want to conquer is gonna be the roof and the hood of this car, which both have the sap underneath the paint in the clear coat, which is just really unfortunate. It, you know, once you get close to the car, it really takes away from the overall look, especially in the front of the car here. You know, you can even see it underneath the dirt. Look at that. That's trapped tree sap underneath the clear coat. I'm pretty sure it could be something else, but what we're gonna have to do to get this thing ready quick is we're gonna sand down the front of the hood and also the roof, and we'll get them perfectly flat, and then we're gonna prime them to seal the metal hood and the metal roof underneath. And then we're going to wrap the whole car, because I do realize the car needs a full respray. Actually, it all needs to be sanded down. It's been resprayed before, so I don't wanna just throw another coat on there. I wanna go all the way back down to the metal. But before we commit to that, I do wanna see what colors would look good on this car. So I'm thinking maybe like a darker purple, maybe like a midnight blue, you know, like a dark blue, the one that came on the E39 M5 originally. That is a cool color, but a little bit too dark for my taste, and I'd love to get a little bit of purple in this car. And that's why I want to keep the rims looking a little bit lighter color, also the Euro corners and the chrome trim. I want to have this thing kind of, you know, have some good contrast to it. And I think once we do wrap it, the wheels, and we re-dye the interior, I think it's gonna come together for BMW Invasion, and it's gonna look like a finished product. So let me know what you think of these plans to get the cars ready. Like I said, I'm super excited for the BMW Invasion meet, and if you're gonna be attending, be sure to stop by. I'm gonna have both these cars parked next to each other, hopefully. I know that they're kind of organizing the parking spots by model, but I'm hoping that they'll let me put these cars next to each other. That way I can chill, maybe grab a cooler, meet some of you guys, and just talk about these cars that we love so much. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like or a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't yet. And as always, I hope everyone has an amazing day. We will see you in the next video.